And let's get this party started. Morena Tato, welcome everybody. Welcome back to another Q&A here at Digital Boost. I'm Georgia Hatzis. As you know, you all know me as the Digital Boost lady, and I usually host these wonderful Q&As. Today, I've got Catherine Chu from BNZ, who's going to run the panel for us, and I'll have Catherine introduce everyone and tell us a little bit about what we're doing. But we're talking about powering your e-commerce capability. This is going to be a really good one. I want you all to reserve your questions until the end. You have the Q&A function at the bottom. If you're coming in through LinkedIn or through Facebook, you can absolutely put comments in there. I'll keep an eye out for them. But Catherine and I will check out your Q&As at the end, your questions, not your answers. Unless you have a ton of answers, I mean, brilliant, share them with us. Thank you. Kia ora, Catherine, welcome.
Kia ora, thanks so much, Georgia. Kia ora, everyone, and thank you so much for taking time out of your, I'm sure, very busy day to attend today's live stream event, really kindly organised by Digital Boost. So my name's Catherine Chu, Business Development Manager for Merchant at the Bank of New Zealand, and I'm really excited to be your facilitator this morning. We've got some really great speakers lined up for you today, and we hope from today's session you'll get a wider understanding of solutions to further power your payments capability through products and services available to you, and to get some valuable insights on ways to not only stay on top of e-commerce and industry trends, but also to understand and combat the risks involved that you should be aware of as well. So to introduce our speakers today, we'll hear from Basky and Craig from Goose, your e-commerce specialists, to share insights on how you can optimize your online presence. They'll also touch on BigCommerce, which is a global e-commerce platform BNZ are proud to have partnered with to provide our business customers of all sizes with an e-commerce solution. As you might already be aware, BNZ has partnered with Digital Boost to provide you all with a very special offer, so I'll talk about this at the very end. We'll also hear from Will from Cybersource, a global gateway powered by Visa, to talk to us about how to protect your business against cyber threats, something that's very topical and I'm sure very top of mind for every one of you lately. Right, so let's kick off. I'd like to introduce to you our first session today, our speakers, Basky Baskar and Craig Haggart from Goose. I'll pass it over to you.
Hello, everyone. Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. Thanks for taking the time for listening to me as well. We are Goose, so digital marketing agency based in Auckland. I'll do a quick intro to me. I'm a co-founder and also a full-stack web developer here at Goose. I moved to New Zealand back in 2013, and I moved to New Zealand primarily for trout fishing, but ended up getting into my own business in the e-commerce. We have 3 locations, Auckland head office, we have a location in Brisbane and also Bangalore, India. This is just some of our team members. These are all our Auckland-based team members. Couldn't fit everyone on here, but there's some friendly, smiley faces there. So we actually specialize in Shopify and BigCommerce. We're certified BigCommerce developers. We're B2B certified as well. We've been working with BigCommerce for probably the past 8 years now. And I think Catherine's going to play a video from the CEO from BigCommerce.
E-commerce is driving one of the largest and fastest global economic transformations in human history. BigCommerce is a software-as-a-service platform that powers 60,000 of the world's most interesting and beautiful e-commerce stores. We provide everything that a business needs to create, manage, and grow an online store. From the design of that store to the infusion of product catalog, the checkout, and all of the tools that help you market and grow. Our mission ultimately is to help our customers turn their long-term digital transformation into competitive advantage.
Thank you, Brent. I think, play again, but no. Yeah, I think Brent explained it quite well what BigCommerce is, but I'll give you some reasons why we like to use BigCommerce. One of the main reasons for me is it's modern, flexible, and it's quite easy to customize. It's got a great API. Everything is API first, which means we can do pretty much anything. So any customizations that are required, we never seem to have a problem, just based off of the amazing API that they have. It's built for enterprise scale, but it also accommodates people entering into the e-commerce space and starting out their business. It's very low maintenance and it's very high efficiency. So when we started our business, we were primarily using open source platforms like Magento or WordPress. Especially for those Magento customers, the move onto a platform like BigCommerce has been game changing for them. And anybody who knows the Magento platform or who has had a website which has been open source will know the pains of downtime and pumping money into maintenance. BigCommerce and these SaaS platforms just alleviate that completely, meaning you can spend your money more on marketing and driving revenue to your store. And BigCommerce is a great agency partnership. That's great for the customer because it's there's you, the client, and there's BigCommerce and there's your agency, and we all work together to make this a success. So that's a great fact for BigCommerce. So I'm just going to talk about 5 user experience best practice. These are, in my opinion, some of the things that should be as standard, or things that you can enhance your existing website. So the mini cart is one of the most important parts of the user's journey when they're shopping on your store. Out of the box, as you'll see on the left, the mini cart is quite a basic implementation. And on the right-hand side, you can see a more advanced implementation. So having the seamless transition from adding a product into your mini cart without redirecting to a different page allows you to improve the user's experience, but it also allows you to prompt the user with your shipping promotions or them to add additional products. Makes the whole experience easy. So in the end, they should be able to add more products. Wishlist functionality. Out of the box, this is generally you have to sign in. You have to create an account. As you can see on the left-hand side, with that example, you need to log in before you can actually add your items to a wish list. It's better to take away that barrier and allow your users to be able to create wish lists as a guest. And then when they're ready to sign in or they're ready to create an account, automatically save that wish list for them. Category page, obviously one of the most important parts of the user's journey when they're shopping on your e-commerce store. It's becoming best practice now to have a full grid of products rather than your traditional sidebar and grid to the right-hand side. It takes up more of the usable space on the page and makes it a lot cleaner, focusing on the products only. In this example, you can see that the filters are now a toggle, so they will actually come in from the side, and you can see featured filters as well to allow users to easily filter down to the products that they want to buy. Optimizing for mobile, obviously we all know this is very important. As you see on this example here, they've reduced the clutter dramatically. One of the main things that you see on websites now is they seem to, there's a trend at the moment where people seem to fix the header. So as you scroll, the header comes down with you. But we found out that this actually detracts from the user's experience. So we advise that you remove the fixed header. You can see that they have a 2x2 grid. This is good to because when you're scrolling, you can see you can see more products than a single. Or if there were 3 in a row, they'd be too small. And again, they're using the filters to help people filter to the products that they want to find. The checkout, obviously now, checkouts are getting better generally, but out of the box, BigCommerce comes with a really optimized checkout. It's a single page. There's no multiple steps in terms of reloading different pages. There's a summary on the right hand side. It's highly visible, so the user knows at all time how much their total cart costs and what products are in their cart, and it's clear what payment options are available. Trust signals are a really easy win. You'll probably see these a lot on a lot of websites, but telling people about your return policy, if you have free shipping, contact information, and also displaying trust factor logos such as payment icons like Visa or MasterCard, and clearly showing to the customer that you have a support team there if you need any help. Just a final thought. Emerging from the other side of a global pandemic, e-commerce business everywhere can attest to waves of unprecedented change, from the explosive e-commerce growth during the pandemic to the current economic slowdown. We believe that now is the time to tighten your discipline around digital investment, such as a laser focus on customer experience and revenue generation over the latest and greatest fads. Thank you. I'll hand over to Baskar now.
Right. Hey guys. Just a quick introduction about myself. I moved to New Zealand in 2012 to do my master's, and then started working with Craig and another agency, and we found we needed to provide a quality service to business, and especially in the e-commerce industry in New Zealand, and that's where Goose began. And fun fact about me is I just try and put chili sauce and chili powder on every single thing that we try to eat. So yeah. So moving on to the next slide. Sweet. So we're going to talk about ChatGPT and Google Bard. So I know everyone, majority of them would have heard about what they are, and this is just a 101. I'll just have to begin with the people who haven't heard about it, how to use ChatGPT or Google Bard to enhance your e-commerce. And that is, and the 3 key pillars that we're going to cover is just more around the product description, how do you do your SEO that you can do in-house, and your social media posts. So these are general things that we find that customers they try and do it themselves in-house, and now we're just going to use the help of tools like AI-driven tools like ChatGPT and Google Bard. So those 2 tools are free at the moment. You can go and sign up, and you'll have an account. And how ChatGPT or Google Bard? ChatGPT is a product that's owned by Microsoft, whereas Google Bard.ai is owned by Google. So a quick background around both these things, that they are still AI-driven tools, and from our piece of what we've done testing and what we advise a client is you still need a little bit of human intervention. So you can ask any questions or anything else that you need. It'll spit out a whole bunch of prompts and answers, and you still have to just add a little bit of human touch to it before you just go ahead and add that onto the website. And you might also have to be careful about content duplication, because anything that these 2 platforms do spit out, if someone else has the exact same prompt as you do, then it's going to try and produce the same content to those users as well. So it is getting better, but at the moment you still need a little bit of human intervention just to make sure you tailor your content that's specific to your business needs. So this is pretty much the 2 different tools that we spoke about, and the next slide is going to be how we craft compelling content with those. So with ChatGPT or Bard, you can create, you enter those 2 different softwares, and you can go ahead and say, if you're writing a product description, we've seen clients who use staff just go ahead and, spend hours and hours, and they just pump out like 15 to 20 product descriptions in a day. But this tool will make their time more efficient, where they can actually go ahead and produce, over 50 product descriptions in the same span where they would usually producing 10 to 20 product descriptions, and their time can be used wisely to do other things in terms of, put out more social media content out, or just create more compelling EDM content, that's email marketing content out there. So we'd see this as an enhancement for all the businesses rather than just something that's going to eliminate, hey, this is just going to replace someone's role, but we think it's just going to make that person's role more efficient and try and gain more, users, and make the content on your website more compelling so people can understand it, rather than having, if you visit a couple of websites, you will see product descriptions of just 1 or 2 lines. But if you start using tools like Bard or ChatGPT, it might just come up with really good content where it's got the SEO keywords and everything else that you need, and along with that's also relevant to what your business is. So you could do the same. And the other good thing is also, if you are writing a post about a specific product, or let's say you have a Black Friday promotion, so it can come up with content about what the Black Friday promotion title tag and the meta description and your category description can be. And at the same time, if you're doing social media posts or social media ads, you can, in the same prompt, you can also ask ChatGPT about saying, hey, I'm also doing a social media ads, and these are the product that I'm trying to advertise. Come up with content for it. So your content across the multiple channels are just unique, and they're not just, the tone of voice is just not completely different from both of them. So your users still have the same, they visit the website, they see the same thing, or the social media page, they see a content that's relevant to what they viewed, and they visit the website at the same tone of voice, so they don't feel the disjoint between both those channels. So the next slide. So this is something that, SEO is something that we see that most of the people try and do it, or this basic stuff that you can actually do it in-house, and a couple of things that you need an expert in. So title tags and meta description are just, and product description and even writing blogs are something that you can actually do right now in-house by yourself, even if you have, set 1 hour a day just to get them done, and you'll just achieve quite a lot, and it'll help your organic traffic increase, and also indirectly help in revenue. So title tags and meta description. So while you're writing a product description, at the same time, it's highly recommended you just have a proper title tag and meta description that gets added onto the back of the BigCommerce site or any social media CMS that you've got. And the title tag and meta description is what Google will go over and index it. So at times, we've tested by adding the same content or same prompt on ChatGPT versus Bard. We've seen ChatGPT kind of give out better prompts than Bard, and in other instances, we've seen Bard, which is Google, give out better content than ChatGPT. So again, like I said, the human intervention would help with these instances where you go and add the same prompt in both the places, pick what's best, and then go ahead and start adding that onto your website. And so if you look at those examples, so ChatGPT is telling you what the H1 tag, H2 tag needs to be. It also gives you what the meta description title tag, and it gives you exactly because it knows what the title tag length is, because it knows what the meta description character limit is. So it's not going to provide you anything more than that. So if it does, again, it is just an AI-driven tool. So you just have to go ahead and tell, hey, write my title tag, and the character limit is 65 characters, or the meta description's 155. So if you tell or give the right prompts, it's going to give you the right output for that as well. So, and the same thing with social media posts. So if you follow a couple of big businesses who do it really well, just go ahead and say, hey, these are the social media posts, or these are the content that these guys have written. I kind of really like the idea. Can you create content for my post, and this is what I'm trying to promote? And it'll go ahead and create something unique and well written for you that's similar to what the big companies or the competition or someone else that you like have got the post done. So it's a really powerful tool where you could actually just all you need is just follow a couple of prompts, and these prompts can also be transferable to your staff. And if a new person starts off, you can just say, hey, this is how you do product descriptions. You can just, it's all well written and easy to follow. And again, I think we've already covered up on touched on this already, which is more maintaining brand consistency. So you can even write, let's say if you're doing Google ads, and you can even ask Bart saying, hey, I'm trying to come up with Google ad text, and then get the content in there and just have the same message on your email marketing, on your social media posts, and even on your website, all consistent. So people just have this one whole unique, really well-written experience. And even at times, even if you ask these prompts saying, hey, this is the couple of ads that I've run, I'm struggling to get, conversions, I'm struggling to get people to interact with my posts, what do I do to write compelling ads? And these tools will go out there, and they've already got a whole bunch of data to see what does well out of the market, and it'll just throw you prompts saying, add these, or if you write, make your content funny. So then you can go and say, cool, this is the content that I've got. Why don't you translate this to be more hilarious, or just, and it will do that for you. And that just kind of saves you so much time of you sat there thinking. So that'll do pretty much 80% of the job, and you still have to add the 20%, and, you might have to do the post yourself. So yeah. We've seen businesses skyrocket just using, purely just taking advantage of ChatGPT or Bart in the business. And a couple of examples that I mentioned, we've seen staff who all the job is just to go ahead and upload product description, because the number of new products they have on the website, and updating, SEO content itself will just take them, let's say in a month, they'll just do around X amount of products. But using tools like ChatGPT and Bart, they've been able to achieve more, and those staff's resources have been able to be allocated to starting to create content on the email marketing, start to just rewrite content on the social media posts. And this has automatically and drastically helped in users' engagement on all these different channels, and directly coming back to, as a business owner, the efficiency on, hey, I've got a staff, and this is the amount of posts that they've done. This is the amount of product descriptions that's achieved. And using a free tool and like Bard or ChatGPT, their revenue is kind of increasing at the same time, because they can now go ahead and allocate more budget towards, or better budget towards, channels that work well. They see a big engagement in TikTok, or they see a big engagement in other social media channels, and now they're starting to use more budget wisely in those channels just to leverage more revenue from it. So this is, like I said, this is just 101 about ChatGPT. We have still more advanced, how people still use ChatGPT and Bard. But if you have any questions on how people use those, feel free to reach out to either Catherine, myself, or Goose, or Craig, and we'll be more than happy to help you with that. Thank you. Now I'll pass it on to you.
Thank you so much, Craig and Basky. That was really insightful. I learn new things every single day, and today I certainly did. And it always blows my mind how much technology can actually help us in our daily lives, and that includes our business as well. But with the development of technology every day, obviously comes with risk, I guess. And so that's a really cool segue to introduce our next guest speaker today, Will from Cybersource, Global Gateway powered by Visa. Will, I'll hand it over to you.
Kia ora, good morning, everyone. As Catherine introduced, I'm Will from the Cybersource Visa team. So I've been with Cybersource and Visa probably just a bit under 8 years, so a bit of a payment nerd. In case payment gateway doesn't mean a lot to those on the call today. Essentially, traditionally what it means is you've got an online business and you're selling things, and we could be providing the kind of like that checkout cart where you put in all the card numbers and make sure that goes to the bank and get approval, so you guys can get approvals and then therefore get paid for those sales. So I've got kind of a couple of slides today just to talk through a little bit about risk and fraud. This is our standard Visa disclaimer. Sorry, we have to include it in all our presentations. And essentially, the key message is please don't buy shares based on what you hear from the next kind of couple of minutes. Next page kind of talks about the 3 things I wanted to touch on today. So a little bit about risk and fraud from an introduction perspective, because it might not be something that people think about or front of mind when accepting payments, but it is a very important part of doing business. Then I'll move on to just kind of touching around some of the common fraud trends that we see today, and we might end on kind of just unpacking how a typical transaction might flow through the entire payment ecosystem and how kind of everyone plays a role in it, and kind of hopefully lifting the appreciation for, a transaction can be approved in a split second, but there's actually a lot that goes into each step of the way. So with that in mind, this page I just want to kind of spend a minute or two on this kind of concept of acceptable risk. And the whole idea is, every business kind of sits on this spectrum where you've got business on the left, which is, I have a very low tolerance for risk, to someone on the right who is very high. And it ultimately all comes down to what industry do you service, what the average kind of ticket or the value or the price of the goods or service that you sell. And to kind of bring this to life, a good example would be like if I'm selling T-shirts for $5 a pop, and I'm selling to a customer who is a repeat customer who buys from me consistently, versus suddenly a huge order comes from overseas, which is really weird because, who would buy 3,000 T-shirts in a go? The risk, the way you think about that sale would be different, and therefore kind of that kind of concept of no risk, no sale is the same, and the risk behind each sale is different. So hence, if I was the business owner, I'd probably not give any thought to selling the one T-shirt to my repeat customer, but I definitely put quite a bit of thought into whether I want to go ahead with this big sale. So that's kind of just one example, and as I said, businesses would fall into some of these spectrum, and you all have your own internal kind of processes and ways to think about it. But at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is obviously maximize sales, minimize your fraud, and keep kind of your operating costs low. And that could be, as I kind of alluded to, that one big order that is out of the blue. There could be a lot more overheads that's you investing to check whether it's valid. You might need to even make an overseas call just to say, hey, is this really you? Is this sale legit? Can we get a little bit more information to try to make myself or the business get more confidence making that sale? So it's there's no right answer. It's ultimately the business decision, but yeah, it's an important one. And on the next slide is just kind of some call outs, some stats. We did this session, a similar session last year, and I've updated some of the stats on this page. So, you can probably read most of it, but I'll go through because they are quite eye-opening. So, starting from top left, 98% of cyber attacks rely on some form of social engineering, and I think that is hopefully not too many people on the phone today has been subject to some of these attacks, but you wouldn't be surprised if you were. Over 500 million phishing attacks. So this is a double of what we saw back in 2022. And quite alarming, it was that 50 billion number. So this is a number reported by the FBI in terms of business email compromise scams. And the number that we saw from the 2020 to 21 report number was actually 1.8 billion. So this is quite a big increase. And last but not least, Google blocks around almost 15 billion unwanted emails per day. So if you kind of imagine, I think the actual number is higher because, I still get random rubbish in my inbox every day. So, I'd say maybe a lot higher than the 15 billion per day. But that just kind of gives you a sense of the scale of how these operations are run, and how kind of in a way it's kind of a digital pandemic that we are in at the same time. On the right, you see a couple of bullet points around from a payment scheme perspective. What do we see as some of the key trends, and the first three are kind of tightly roped together around identity theft, social engineering, which kind of leads to identity theft and other scams, and then also phishing, which is ultimately trying to get your personal data so they can use it for bad outcomes. So these are very rampant, and that's why everywhere you go, if you ever log into your internet banking or mobile banking, you get a flurry of messages. Your bank will never ask you for your passwords. If you get someone calling you that's not from, and the bank will not ask you for your one-time passwords or other passwords, that's all bad actors behind a facade trying to steal your personal information. The one I'll end this page touching on is that enumeration attack and bin testing. This is we kind of seeing a lot of this in recent months and years. It's a ramping up increase. So what happens is if you have a credit card or debit card in your wallet, typically it's a 16-digit number, and each bank owns the first 6 digits is that's from ANZ, BNZ, ASB. So what the fraudsters are doing is they'll take one card number and then they'll do a whole series of thousands of transactions based on numbers, but kind of sequential. You add one and you kind of go up. And then basically through your site, they can test with the bank which card numbers are valid. So they might do a whole bunch of $1 or $0, or they buy something, the lowest, or even any random good price, and then you're going to end up with a lot of kind of artificial sales, which that creates overheads for you, and obviously could also incur some transaction processing unwanted fees from that. But what they then do with the card numbers that they tested are valid is on one unfortunate weekend, probably late at night when no one's working at the bank or anywhere, is they're going to go and basically clean one of these businesses out and make a whole bunch of sales with these stolen card numbers that's been now tested to be valid. And then that would result into a lot of overheads. If you've got some kind of fraud system which can stop that, then great. But if not, it's a big problem. So where we're trying to get to is we're actually wanting most businesses to have some kind of tools in place to stop these kind of testing to be done. And the most simple form of that is if you've ever bought something or go online and log into something and there's that little capture tool that says, tick the boxes with a bicycle or a traffic light or a bus, then those kind of tools actually stop any kind of scripting that can be run by some of these fraudsters. So that's kind of something we recommend most business consider having. And our last slide is just kind of hopefully not too much detail that puts everyone to sleep, but this kind of just breaks down almost every step of the way that happens when a purchase happens. And this is a simplified diagram. There's probably a couple of more steps in between. But from left to right, essentially what happens is a customer comes to your business, they make a purchase. Within your business, you might have certain tools. It could be 3D Secure, which is that one-time password that gets sent to the customer, just to say, are you who you are, before that sales go through. And then it goes through to your bank, which then goes to the schemes, Visa, MasterCard, which gets sent to the bank of the customer for approval, and then it comes all the way back. So as I said, this happens within a split second, but actually goes through each of these gates. And if you're a customer of Cybersource, then that we probably sit somewhere between the business and the bank. So I think it's important to call out that fraud and risk is not just, hey, it's not all on one party. Every party needs to do their little bit. And from a business perspective, consider tools like 3D Secure, because it can give you that chargeback protection. But also, if you are considering about, what can we do about delivering a better customer experience, then maybe, there's fraud tools. There's a lot out there which can help you figure out, what are some of the sales that we should definitely be declining. And for some easy examples would be, every time fraud gets reported, businesses should tell the bank, which then tells the scheme, and then therefore there's this kind of blacklist. It could be an email address, it could be a card number, where we know that there's been bad behavior or series of bad behavior, which then can get blacklisted. So in future, if a sale comes through on that very same number, based on kind of what we know about that particular credential, we could go straight to the red cross, which is stopping that transaction. Or if it's something that we know has no issues, then let's just go straight to approving that sale. And you can kind of notice the exclamation mark in the risk platform icon, and that's a scenario where we don't know enough about this customer, but we see a couple of kind of flags here and there. And maybe we should review that transaction. So rather than going to a straight automated outcome, we suggest the business do some kind of review. So that's just kind of some tools and steps that you can take at your step, and then kind of calling out, as I said, your bank, the schemes ourselves would have our own screening and things that we do to make sure the quality of the transaction is good. And that's kind of also a way to explain, sometimes when the sales go through, you're not quite sure why it gets declined. So actually, each part of the chain transactions can be weeded out if, someone feels that it's not at the highest quality, to protect everyone's interest. So I kind of probably leave that parting message as, do have some form of tools to protect your business. It's very important. Like everyone wants you to succeed and do well and make more sales. But, we also need to make sure that you kind of protect yourself and avoid some of these business disruption, as well as if it could turn into some form of commercial or reputational impact. So that's kind of me. Thank you for your time. Look forward to see if you got any questions.
Great, thank you so much, Will. And that was such a great session, because I think a lot of us, we focus on the exciting technology development of how it can help our businesses, but often risk and fraud is sort of left until we experience it ourselves, right? And like you say, every sort of part in that chain you spoke about takes a role. So we definitely take fraud very seriously. But yeah, thank you so much. It was really good insights. So that's us today. But and we've heard from all of our speakers. But before I pass it back on to Georgia to address any questions that you might have, either on Goose's part or Will's part, I thought I'd sort of introduce to you that special promotional offer that I spoke about earlier on, that we have going for our Digital Boost members. So like I said before, BNZ's partnered with the global e-commerce platform called BigCommerce, ultimately to help Kiwis realise their online store ambitions. So for all members, BNZ will rebate 50 New Zealand dollars for 12 months on any BigCommerce retail plan that you select if you settle your funds that go through that online platform into a BNZ account. And that's whether you're already using the platform or not. Plus, you can receive access to 1 hour free consulting with BigCommerce's development partner, our very own amazing Goose team, if you need help setting up your BigCommerce store. And also, Will talked about the 3D Secure, which is the fraud management tool, and we are offering that at no extra cost to businesses as well. So we really hope that this exciting offer adds further value to your business. So details are on the promotional page of Digital Boost's website. But if you have any questions, let me know. But make sure you quote that BNZDB, BNZ Digital Boost code for that promotion, for your unique promotion to be applied. So that's all we've prepared for you today. Thank you so much again for attending and listening to our presentation. We hope you found it insightful and valuable. That's just my contact details there. I can definitely be your point of call for any further information that you'd like on either Goose or Cybersource powered by Visa. But yeah, with that, I'll hand it over to Georgia.
Hi, Catherine. That was fantastic. Thank you so much. What a beautiful offer. Everyone, as Catherine said, it's on our promotions page. You can reach out to Catherine here, but also reach out to us at support if you have an issue getting a hold of any of that. Basky, Craig, Will, thank you so much. Will, it is really important. It's so interesting. We've been talking so much lately about cybersecurity, and we actually do have Cert NZ coming on Thursday for those of you who want to get in and listen to what Cert NZ has to say about how we protect ourselves as well. But hearing it from you guys and the chat AI and GPT, and there's just so much happening right now. There's so much happening, and we get to have your expertise to come on and share that with us. So I'm just going to check and see if there are any questions before we sign off. I'm going to give all of you who are listening and participating with us a moment to kind of chat with your fingers. Just pop it right into the Q&A, and if not, then we're going to release you all into the wild so that you can have the rest of your day. And Basky and Craig, start your morning. It seems like, well, you've already started, but really, really, like, go for your morning. Watch the sunrise. Yeah, it looks like we're good. And one quick look at our Facebook and our LinkedIn. Nope. Fantastic. Thank you again all for your time and for your expertise. And I have just so much gratitude, and I know this community does. So have a beautiful day, everyone. And all of you listening, I'll see you again on Thursday, and maybe more of you. Ka kite ano.
Thank
Yeah.
you.